Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Another episode of TNC Podcast. It's your boy KD the Third coming at you. What's happening? Listen, man, we got a lot to talk about. Everything that's been going on in the world. Uh, Gas prices, monkeypox, basketball, football, track, uh, men and women issues. We're going to be talking about it all. You know, we don't leave nothing out, so let's get right into it. So, I have been on Facebook a lot looking at the videos.
The next second, his head.
One of the ones that I just saw earlier. So, sorry about that. Watching these freaking videos.
Okay, so I've come across some more creepy mermaid videos, and I would very much like to know what you guys.
I'm just going to state why specific things don't sit right with me. You believe in what you want. Please do not argue with me because I'm not here to deal with anybody's emotions. These are my thoughts, and
So she was just. I shared a post that she was just speaking on. Let me see if I can find it. Probably on my profile. I believe I shared it. Here we go.
not mandatory to learn the law in school. If this is something that dictates our presence in America. Today, y'all, we're going to be talking. Hold on. I got to close the blinds because they ain't going to like this. Today, we're going to talk about the dark history of law. This particular situation I'm going to go over about Emmett Till is going to explain why Black people don't respect the law. To not get banned or CBD, this video is strictly for educational purposes. This is the story of a little boy who had a stuttering problem who visited his great uncle's house. He ends up getting abducted from his home. Killed, mutilated, his eyes were gouged out, shot, and he was 14 years old. All because this woman said that he whistled at her. Now, these demons who killed him, they did not go to jail, and they were convicted, not guilty. We got 50 plus years going by. She ends up saying, oh, he didn't whistle at me. I lied. Now, when we try to bring this case back, the grand jury declines to indict her, right? But this little boy died. She is still alive, but she's not in jail now. Let me ask y'all, why do y'all think Karens exist? And yes, they were existing back then, putting false accusations on Black people. They know that these laws are made against us. That's why they use it to apprehend us. They made laws to catch runaway slaves. They made laws to say that we cannot vote. We have to take literacy tests. We can't live in specific places. They have upgraded and created these amendments to seem ethical. But the same situations keep happening. These laws and the original Constitution and everything that plays a part with that was never meant for us. Therefore, it can never work for people of color. Black Panther activist Angela Davis was wrongfully convicted of murder, and the FBI was looking for her. Like I said, creating laws so they can take you. She ends up beating the case. Before the FBI to even accuse these things of her and legally try to kidnap her, that shows that they can do whatever they want. It's the same thing with Assata Shakur. Now let's just listen to her words.
The FBI, with the help of local police agencies, systematically fed false accusations and fake news articles to the press, accusing me and other activists of crimes we did not commit.
This happened 20 plus 30 years ago, and they still want her head.
National and local police agencies created a situation where, based on their false accusations against me, any police officer could shoot me on sight.
Now, the things that are done to our people in the name of the law, being shot 60 times unarmed, and this is all the law has to say.
Or why officers initially deployed non-lethal tasers.
I don't know. I'm not going to respond to that because it would be speculation.
A police chief saying he doesn't know why. That's all the answers we get, according to the law.
A program that was set up by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to eliminate all political opposition to the U.S. government's policies, to destroy destroy the Black liberation movement in the United States.
And that is the dark history of law. Y'all stay dangerous always. Do y'all want to know why it was so important for them to force? All because this woman said that he.
So let's talk about law, what law really is. Most people will tell you and they'll argue you down that Moore's law is not real, you know, da 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 da. But you know, and I always play this thing where some of our people are waking up. You still got ones that are asleep. And what kills me is, you know, they've been putting their laws in place. We've been trying to be, you know, but their laws are bullshit. The law of the land is just corporate policy. It's not real. And I don't understand what people don't understand about that. Why are we still trying to navigate in their rules and their laws and agendas? Why? What's the purpose for us to do that? We got to stop, man. It's time for us to you know.
On February 4th, 2020, the visual.
Be real about what's going on and put this stuff.
In the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning, and that's what they're referring to as that whole area that Peter.
Wow! Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, in the the military circles that are in the know about the cover up here, they kind of in whisper tones talk about the return of the Sumerian gods. And they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning into the Middle East, into Old Sumer area.
The Anunnaki.
Well, could be.
Under the other ancient names.
Giants.
Do you think that has anything to do with why
we left Afghanistan?
Buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning.
Now, some of you may be asking, who are the Sumerian gods? Well, stick around and I'll explain. The most popular belief among theorists is that the Sumerian gods are also known as the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki inhabit planet Nibiru, also known as Planet X. Now, Planet X has a unique orbit, not like most of the planets in our solar system. According to astronaut theorists, Nibiru's orbit is drastically elongated, and it only passes by the Sun and Earth every 3,000 or so years. Some believe the asteroid belt used to be a planet called Tiamat. And unfortunately, Tiamat was in this said planet's path as it was making its orbit, so they collided. And Nibiru, being much, much larger than Tiamat, just blew it to smithereens. There's also a theory that many years later, Nibiru was making its pass again. And in its pass, it lined up perfectly behind our moon. And the planet being so large, it has a great gravitational pull. So when it lined up behind our moon, it increased the moon's gravity drastically. This would cause what many reference as the Great Flood. There are many theories as far as what alien species occupies Nibiru, but the most popular one among researchers is that it's inhabited by the Draconian Anunnaki. They are known throughout the universe as being a warring tribe. And many thousand years ago, probably around 30,000 BC, they had a drastic war on the planet Nibiru, a nuclear war, causing the frying of their atmosphere. So as they were passing Earth around this time, they jumped to Earth to see what was there. And much to their astonishment, it was full of gold. See, the ancient aliens not only looked at gold as we do as the precious metal, but they also knew it had absolutely priceless properties. So the Nibiru would create mankind to work as slaves to harvest said gold. Because at first they had what were called the Agigi as slaves. But the Agigi grew fed up after many years of slavery and revolted, gaining their freedom. I believe the Agigi could be the elongated skull people. So once the Agigi gained their freedom, the Anunnaki had nobody harvest their gold, so they made us. But eventually the Agigi, along with the Lemurians, the tall whites who were already here, along with the Atlanteans. Now the Atlanteans would end up joining the Draconian Anunnaki. And I don't think people realize this, but there's more than one race of Anunnaki. Not only is there the Draconian Anunnaki, there's the Templar Anunnaki or the Templar Anu. Yes, you heard me right, the Templar Anu. And then there's the Syrian Anunnaki, or the High Council of the Galactic Federation. Now the Lemurians, the elongated skull people, and the Syrian Anunnaki didn't necessarily agree with the enslaving of mankind. And they would proclaim this to the ancient Draconian Anunnaki. But they didn't listen. It caused a great war. This said war would break out around the same time as the Third Galactic War was going on. And it would cause havoc on the planet. Great cataclysms, volcanic eruptions, floods, you name it. This war would also result in the death of Mars and Mars moons because the Draconian Anunnaki had outposts there. So the Lemurians and the Syrian Anunnaki would send Nara 1 rockets to the moons, blowing them up. At the time not realizing what it would cause later. In the blowing up of Mars's moons, it caused them to become massive asteroids, and they would hurl towards Earth, eventually reaching here and causing havoc once again. Now some believe that these caused the Great Flood as well. There's discrepancy there. Between that and Nibiru lining up behind the moon, drastically increasing her gravitational pull, which would increase the tide astronomically, causing the flood. So why did the Draconians want gold so bad? Because they had a process where they could break down the gold, fire it into the sky on Nibiru, and they were hoping to replenish their dead atmosphere. Whether it worked or not sure. But the result of the war, the good side won, but Mother Earth took a heavy hit. So a couple of the good factions would have to more or less beg their way into Middle Earth or Inner Earth. And after convincing Shambhala the Lesser that they had learned their lesson from war, he let them in. But he did not let the Templar Anu or the Draconian Anunnakis in, because they were afraid that given the power and the knowledge of Inner Earth, they would abuse it and use it for evil. So they would create the pyramids to block the portals into Inner Earth, along with protecting the secrets of the Syrian Anunnaki and their powers. See, not many people knew this, but the pyramids were originally built to harvest a star's energy. So this is where gold came in. They would cap the peak of the pyramid with gold. Now the gold caps have long been removed from the pyramids, probably by treasure hunters. But that's why all pyramids line perfectly with certain star constellations. During certain times of the year, they would line up perfectly with said constellations, and they would be able to harvest their energy. This is supposedly a picture of the Bosnian pyramid, emitting energy from its peak. Now somebody recently sent me this on my Instagram. On the bottom is one of the structures in Teotihuacan. On top is a motherboard of a computer. They have an oddly similar appearance. And what do motherboards use that a lot of people didn't know they did? They use gold because they're great conductors of energy. So what's going on with the recent news that the Sumerian gods are returning and a great war may ensue? Well, stick around and I'll tell you. So it is said, whispers throughout the Pentagon and NASA scientists state that the Sumerian gods are returning, that Nibiru is nearing the planet in its orbit. See, after the war we previously talked about, the Draconian Anunnaki left angry. They feel that they have just as much right to own this planet or live here as humans do. So upon their return, they're going to try to take it back. This is why all this weird stuff is going on. See, there's been some of them here all along, influencing the elite. And in doing this, they are helping shape our world at the moment. Now, where are the Syrian Anunnaki, you might say? Well, they're watching, and they're watching closely. They're going to let mankind get pushed and pushed to the brink. And they're hoping that this will help us ascend to the next level of consciousness. Because once we ascend to the next level of consciousness, we, in turn, become very powerful beings. But based on texts that I've read, ancient Sumerian tablets, etc., they do say, yes, another great war for the planet Earth is going to break out. And unfortunately, this time, we are going to be heavily involved. There's going to be a lot of manipulation and a lot of deceit. And this may be by our own people. It's hard to say. But in this manipulation and deceit, it's going to look like doom and gloom for the human race and the planet Earth. It's going to look like we are going to cede the planet to the Draconian Anunnaki. But at the exact moment it's beginning to look the darkest, the Lemurians, the Syrian Anunnaki, and all the different beings in inner Earth are going to emerge from the underground tunnels all over the world. And when they do this, a new hope is going to arise. It's not going to be easy, and the battle is going to be intense. But ancient lore tells us that good will prevail. That with the combining of the powers of all the beings on Earth and in inner Earth who are inherently good, our power cannot be matched. And once we realize this, good will stomp out evil once and for all, leading us in to the next dimension of consciousness and stomping out the Draconian Anunnaki for eternity. Meaning they will no longer have a stronghold over any of mankind, and that they will give up on their campaign to take back Earth. We will then in the Galactic Federation.
What do you guys think about that, man?
Now, is all of this
Craziness, huh?
Gia? Why the fuck y'all be doing me like this? Why y'all be doing me like this, bro?
Literally forever to get here. My God.
Don't want you to know.
What restaurants don't want you to know, they expose it.
You ain't have nobody. You talk to my husband, speak with my husband, then you gonna try to wait, okay. I'm saying it's a mistake.
I know this.
Ain't no mistake you speaking with somebody else's husband, man. Man, I'm from hell, man.
I always try to jump on
phone. You from Italy.
Like I'm messing with somebody.
I don't care. Would you please explain to her? Please just explain. He got to explain that to me.
It ain't me. It's not me.
I'm saying, why you did that?
It's not me.
Come on,
not me.
It's just wrong.
It's not.
Sir, please tell her I don't even know you. I'm married.
It's not me.
I'm married too.
It's not me.
I found your balls in his car.
What? You need to stop, bro. You need to stop.
It's a misunderstanding when y'all stop. But hey, I'm not even from you.
It is.
No, but you know what? I tell you what. It is. Come on, leave. It comes to Brother D.
You need to.
Call you want. I'm tired of people.
Don't cry. No. Don't cry. Call. I can't explain to her.
You finna get another one. You ain't have no. You talk to my husband, speak with my husband, then you gonna try to wait, okay.
Before you book a trip to Cancun, I need to tell you about the worst resort I've ever been to. It's almost 10 now, the power's been off since 7, and as you can see, it's a beautiful day.
I have no clue. Walked out. Like, I don't know. I'm guessing so. That was loud for being the door. Yeah. I have no clue. I'm working on Belly B. All right. God damn. It looks like Dad from a party.
I had to pick up the morning.
I appreciate that.
Nigga had a gun in his pocket, shot him.
I have no clue.
And so now, I'm not comfortable in the place I was most comfortable, outside of my home. And there she is, going on about her day. And she had the audacity to tell me to my face she's a fitness professional. You know what? You should know better. And I hope you see this.
This video makes my blood boil. And this is the reason I continue to be disappointed in the fitness community today and fitness influencers. Just to recap, you guys can go to her page. I'll tag her below. You can watch the entire video. This beautiful young woman was at the gym, minding her own business, getting a workout in, when she noticed she was in the background of another woman's video that was recording. She didn't feel comfortable. She didn't want to be in it. So she told management, they asked the lady to stop recording. And instead of simply apologizing, stopping,